Hey there, colleague. How in the world are you? I was talking with a colleague of ours recently who teaches a child development class, and she was telling me about how she makes a concerted effort at the start of every semester to make clear to her students what success in child development looks like. And I think that this is such an important thing. This is a question that I want to ask you. If I was going to come into your classroom and ask all of your students to just tell me, what does success in this class look like? How comfortable do you think that you'd be with their responses? Or let's put it a different way, would their responses be likely to match what you think is really success in your class? And if they're not, it doesn't mean that you're a bad teacher, it just means that you probably should do more to make clear to your students what success looks like in your class. Here are some common definitions that students have about success in a class that I think are really problematic from a student motivation standpoint. So a lot of students will define success in the class solely based on a grade. There's a bunch of things that are problematic with this. First of all, a grade is not the point of the class. The point of the class is learning the material, whether it's child development or computer science or psychology or third grade reading. The point of that class is not the grade. The point is the learning. That's the thing that really advances long-term flourishing of students. So one shorthand way that I have for repeating this to my students again and again and again is master the material. The grade will follow, but focus on mastering the material. Speaking to that is one of the things that I do to start making a clear definition of success in my classroom that we can all share. But you have to go deeper than just giving lip service to what success is. So my students need to see, what do you mean by mastery? What does mastery look like? So some things that I'll do is after an assessment or an essay, I will look with my students at the scores that we got, most commonly missed questions, and I will say, these are some things that I think we can do better at next time. Our goal is to be improving, to grow in mastery. I'll never get my students the impression that we failed at an assessment or an essay or a learning activity. Instead, I'll try to make clear the growth that's possible next for us as a class. Another thing that I'll do once we have a few assignments under our belt is I'll ask my students, for example, when handing back an essay, I want you to think back to what you got the last time we did an essay like this. And now I want you to look at what you got on this essay. Look at your rubric. Folks, if you had a 1 or a 2 on the rubric previously, and again you got a 1 or a 2, that's something that we want to look at. I want you to answer for yourself, what led me to get the same result as last time? What am I missing? And if you need help with that, let's schedule a time to talk. We can do it real quick during a lunch or after school. If you got a 1 or a 2 last time and this time got a 3 or a 4, I want you to pat yourself on the back. You kicked butt. You are getting better. You're gaining more skills, and that's allowing you to capture more things on our rubric. Now, if last time you got a 3 and a 4 though, you really want to be seeing a 5 or a 6. So I'll talk through with my students very practical ways of thinking about growth toward mastery. And something like that, what I just did, it doesn't take me a lot of class time, but I find it to be very effective, super practical with my students. What does Stuart mean when he says master the material, when he says grow in mastery? He's talking about making demonstrable progress on the things that we do as learners in this class. Recently, a school leader I respect, Diane Wanamaker in Utah, reduced this down to one word: toward. She said, I think a really important word for us to hold on to as a whole faculty is the word toward. Toward what? Toward mastery. That's what success is in our school. And if you have a school culture like that, awesome, rock on. But even if you don't, you can create a class culture like that when you as an educator are moving your students toward mastery. And that's going to look different for different students. But when you're moving them all toward mastery, as much mastery as possible, you're constantly trying to get better yourself at making clear the path to mastery. You are absolutely kicking butt as a teacher. You're knocking it out of the park. You're hitting a home run. You're scoring a touchdown. You're serving an ace. You're hammering the nail. So listen, how recently have you defined success for your students? How recently have you given them specific examples of what success looks like? You know what? I guarantee that you could give it a shot again tomorrow, and it wouldn't hurt much.